Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative Podcast, the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of pop culture, TV, film, social media, video games, sports, everything really. Depending on the guest, we chat about it all. And as always, I'm your host, Peter Meliodas, and on all of social media, not just Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. And my guest is an actor who stars in a video game that dropped in October, the hit video game series Call of Duty. He's part of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. He plays Alex. We're with Chad Michael Collins. Chad, welcome to Popternative, man.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. We were talking about it a little bit before, but, just congrats on the success of Modern Warfare, man. It's been nuts. It's dropped in October, but I'm sure it's just been crazy on your end.
It's been a lot of fun, I got to be honest. The reception has been overwhelming, especially, in regards to my character. I play Alex, call sign Echo 3-1, and he's kind of a character that you play as a lot through the game, maybe the most as Alex as you go through. So he's like your eyes and ears as you go through the game. So the fans have been really great about reaching out and letting me know how much they love Alex.
It's pretty cool to think about it because, you're an actor that's been in TV shows and movies as well, but this is like a video game. The motion capture artist, like that's really cool to think that it's not just your voice being used anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. For our game and for most games in general now, it's full performance capture. It's face, voice, body movements, everything else too. And that was the case for us in this game. Gone are the days where you would just have stunt guys rolling around in a mocap suit and then a voice actor would come in a booth. That's how they used to do it all the time. The technology is so good. It's so hyper real now that you kind of have to have actors that can do it all.
And it's crazy because, this is a new installment of, the series, but Call of Duty is one of those games. Like when you think of someone that doesn't even play video games, right? They'll be like, name me 5 video games, right? Yeah. And they'll probably go like Call of Duty, Halo, Red Dead Redemption. Like it's up there. It's like in the mecca of gaming, man.
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny you say that because, I had been attached to and working on this project on and off for a year and a half. And obviously signed all the NDAs. Everything was super classified and top secret. I couldn't say anything about it to anyone. But I could say, when someone asked me, what are you working on? I could say, I'm just working on a really cool video game, having a lot of fun. And the response almost every single time was, is it Call of Duty? Is it Call of Duty? You working on Call of Duty?
This is the first one, right?
It's so ubiquitous, man. Everyone knows this property, so I was really excited to be a part of it.
Are you not impressed or kind of blown away about, like, we all know like how big the video game industry is, but then once you kind of get involved with it more, like yourself in the game, you really actually see how big the video game industry is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there was a stat that I read. They dropped the game like at midnight on a Thursday, right? So everybody like pre-ordered and played all through the weekend. And then I read, come Monday morning, there was a press release or there's an article that basically said, it made $600 million in 3 days, and that was just the first weekend, So it is really, I don't think people understand that video games are this humongous multi-billion-dollar industry in the ways that they are. And I think I read an article recently that said that video game profits and earnings have now surpassed television worldwide. And I believe it. I just, people eat these games up and it only gets bigger and better.
I just find like, there are nights like these dedicated to people like playing video games. Like instead of going out like and hanging out and partying, you know what I mean? People are having like parties in their basement playing, like Call of Duty.
Yeah. That's Twitch, a lot of fun.
Streaming and everything. What do you kind of think about the streaming? Did you know a little bit about the video game streaming landscape before you kind of signed on to this project, Chad?
I was always familiar with, Twitch, Mixer, whatever else. I had never done any streaming myself up to that point. I had been in some live streams. I had talked to the guys at Dungeons and Dragons and went on their live stream broadcast down at Comic-Con. I think it's such an awesome platform to the point where I can't wait to start streaming because I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. I've been a gamer my whole life, so you might as well connect with people while you play games. It's kind of the best of all things. So I look forward to queuing up some Twitch streams soon.
Are you gonna log in and play Call of Duty and like play Alex and then see if anyone can guess?
Yeah, I've had a lot of requests to do that, but I just feel like it's almost better not to, because in the game as Alex, when you control him, he's a badass, right? But then you watch me play as Alex, and he's gonna kind of fall out of favor because he will be killed many, many times. And I'm not great, So we'll see. I'll probably end up doing some stuff. I'm a campaign guy. Like, I love the stories. I love RPGs. But I know multiplayer is such a huge part of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I tell you what, multiplayer is not for beginners. You get thrown in these battleground arenas and it's just like pew, pew, pew. You're just done. They're just real ninjas in there.
When you were allowed to tell people that you were part of this mecha project and kind of announcing it and promoting it, what was the reception from your family and friends specifically?
People were super stoked, and they were really freaking out because they had been playing, for decades. Everyone's played, I think, some iteration of a Call of Duty game. Yeah. And the Modern Warfare trilogy was arguably the best they ever did and the most popular they ever did. So ours, with our kind of reimagining of Modern Warfare, I had a lot of friends come out of the woodwork very excited. And it was just really, really cool to be able to tell people. And it was also nice for me as an actor because, it's such a crossover to what I love to do anyway, which is the soldier roles. I do these Sony sniper movies. And so this was kind of a really nice extension of the kind of parts that I love to play anyway. So it's just kind of another notch in that like pretend soldier belt for me. So it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You mentioned, the sniper movies, and we mentioned it before. I mean, TV shows as well. And, one show that you have an episode in is a horror show called Creepshow. And we were talking about it, man, like that genre of content, like horror movies or TV shows, is just kind of like been unbelievable and blowing up like the last couple of years, specifically with the amount of quality content out there. It's nuts.
Yeah. The horror fans are so rabid and they're always hungry for more. I feel like between Christmas movies and horror movies, those are just never going to go out of style. Everybody just loves those things. And yeah, it's they always tell you as an indie filmmaker, because I'm starting to get more into producing my own projects. Yep. They always tell you if you can make a low budget horror movie, you're almost guaranteed success. Like, even if it's bad, just because people will to just want to eat that content up, man, they just devour it. So
I might or might not be writing a short horror film of my own.
Well, you're in the right genre, man.
Man, but like it's they also like, because when like you said, you produce like projects, right? You like sometimes depending on the budget or the time frame, right? Like you have to be realistic, right? Like with how you're gonna make the project, right? So like sometimes there are projects that you make a script about and it's like very easy to make. Like that happens a lot with horror, I find too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, really, it's doing the indie thing is such an interesting journey, just because every day is different. It's just endless kind of problem solving and getting creative in different ways. But I mean, if you got the great script, that's what you got to have, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's the money, and then it's the talent, and then it's all the other things trying to come together into one. But it takes a village, and I feel like every film that ever gets made, big or small, is a miracle because of all the things that have to happen for this thing to come together.
Mm-hmm. So have maybe you've done this before, but getting back to the Call of Duty stuff, have you showed up to video game stores yet and done any appearances or show up and ask for the game and maybe tweet out that you're going to do some signings? Has that that aspect happened yet? That'd be kind of cool.
I did stop at a local GameStop, the day or two after it dropped, because I wanted to see like what the displays were and everything else. And I had a good chat with the guys there, but Alex in the video game has, this huge mustache, and he's a really cool looking character with tattoo sleeves and everything else. I obviously don't have that sort of stuff. So I was kind of more anonymous. I feel like my buddy was like, hey, this is the guy who plays in Call of Duty, but the other guys are like, oh, really? Like, I think they were underwhelmed by my real life appearance compared to how cool Alex actually turned out.
Or maybe they just didn't believe you. Like, I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah, it
right?
could be. It very well could be.
No,
Yeah.
because I find like I interviewed Sarah Natacheni, who does the voice of Ash Ketchum in Pokemon, right?
Okay.
And she says it's like she'll go to conventions or go to stores and be like, I'm the voice of Ash, and does the voice, and they're like, no, you
Right.
don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. It's like too easy. It's like I can't suspend my disbelief. Yeah.
But is that kind of like a misconception though about the industry, Chad? Where like the fact that you guys are just kind of like people, like actors are just, you guys are people, right? Like we're all human. You know what I mean? Like,
You know, shoes go on one at a time, like everyone else. Really.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really like that. That was amazing. Man, no, I know. I just find like, you're people that are in the public eye more.
Right.
And it's part of the job, right? Like if someone recognizes you from a gig, you sign an autograph. Maybe it's better for it not to be in kind of an awkward situation. Like you're at a restaurant, you go to the washroom, and someone talks to the washroom. Like that,
Right.
that you know what I mean? Because those are like when I interview people. Some people say like, no, like time, like. I'm forever grateful about fan meetups and everything, you know what I mean? But like there's situations where that comes with the territory. So like what do you think about that interaction with the fans, Chad?
I mean, I love it, man. I mean, obviously, I think we all prefer the organized interactions when you go to a convention and, there's the lines and there's the meet and greet set up, kind of in advance. I fly under the radar, man. I don't get really approached too much, when I'm at the grocery store or at a restaurant or anything like that. I'm not exactly Jason Momoa, but yeah, I love interacting with the fans, man. I mean, going to conventions is one of my favorite things to do. It's so much fun to just, get up on stage, answer their questions, meet them, especially with the Call of Duty stuff. Social media has been awesome. People were like, I love Alex. He was my favorite character. I was so sad. What happened at the end? I won't spoil anything for anyone. But they've been so great. And it's nice to just have that like FaceTime, that one-on-one personal connection, and to kind of like just give him a little hug and take a little picture with him and stuff like that.
Have you done like a good amount of conventions? Have they all been like Call of Duty related, or have there been other projects you've been promoting at conventions?
I've been invited to quite a few Once Upon a Time conventions, the ABC show where I played Frankenstein's monster. So those have been really, really fun. And I've gone to a few just in general. When I was on a short-lived sci-fi series called Extinct, we were up in Utah at that great Fan X convention up there. But I hope to do a lot more this year. I'll be in Philadelphia. We're trying to line up a few more. A lot of the fans are really clamoring to have Alex at a con, and I'm all for it. So I hope to fill the schedule.
That is amazing. What is like? You're all storytellers, whether you're an actor, a writer, a musician, a director. It's storytelling. What's Chad's favorite thing about storytelling?
I just think for me, the acting stuff is. It's just such a unique way to be creative. No two projects are alike. No two characters are alike. No two lines of dialogue are ever the same. So I love kind of, diving in and kind of doing that detective work and kind of teasing out what's unique, what's interesting. And I'm a rabid learner. I'm always reading. I love learning new things. And there's nothing better that kind of ramps that up than being an actor. One day you're a soldier, another day you're a firefighter, now you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. It's fun for me because I'm not a guy that likes to just do the same monotonous thing over and over and over again. And I think acting really brings you that variety, spice of life to your everyday experience. So
with the role of Alex, like when you're kind of told, all right, you're going to be Alex, you're going in to work and you're going to be this character in this game and it's time to get to work. You know what I mean? What were the personal specific goals that you had in mind with this character that you want to kind of bring to life?
I think from the beginning I understood, and the director and the writers helped me understand this about Alex is, he was going to be the character that you took the journey with, and you, like I said before, you play mostly as him through a lot of the missions. He goes from being a top secret kind of hired gun, and now he's got to embed himself with freedom fighters as they are combating terrorist cells and Russian occupation. So he goes on a ride with these people and becomes really attached, and he really starts to believe in their cause to the point where he starts defying orders from his superiors because this is something he really believes in and he thinks is worth fighting for, maybe dying for. So I really wanted to kind of capture that thing for any gamer who suited up as Alex. I wanted him to have that sense of like, there's all this stuff unfolding and you're going to take that emotional journey with me. I wanted to leave it a little bit more open-ended in that way. And I really wanted the scenes with Farah, I'd like to really drive that connection home. I thought were really important to me, and I thought they really came across. So.
We're talking a lot about the Call of Duty, but you even mentioned we were talking about the conventions. You were involved with shows like Once Upon a Time and Instinct. What has been kind of the coolest non-Call of Duty moment that Chad Michael Collins has been involved with? Like, what was the kind of it doesn't even have to be like, oh, like I was on an episode of this show and it's like the biggest show, but like was there a moment where there was someone that you got to work with that you thought was pretty cool? Like what was kind of a highlight, non-Call of Duty highlight for Chad Michael Collins in his career?
Yeah, well, I've been pretty fortunate. I've done 4 sniper films for Sony, the military action films. And the original stars of Sniper are Tom Berenger and Billy Zane. And I've always been a big fans of them and the original Sniper movie since I was growing up. So to be able to kind of work sometimes in tandem, sometimes one-off with one or the other on all these films all over the world, it's been a real joy. I love Tom. I love Billy. They're great guys, and I love working with them. And I'm big fans of their careers. To be able to kind of share the screen with them and interact with them and create a character alongside of them has been kind of one of my greatest sort of experiences in the acting world.
No, that is awesome. Well, Chad, we'll wrap up. Man, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for coming on the show, dude.
Yeah, happy to be here.
No, that's awesome. It just, there's a wave right now, a Call of Duty wave that you're riding, and I'm just so happy you get to ride that, man. Congrats.
It's been a lot of fun, man. Like I said, the fans have been nothing but awesome. I've seen costumes of Alex. I've seen the cosplay at the conventions and the fan art and everything else too. So yeah, I hope we get to keep it going. Who knows what the future holds for Alex? But of course, I would always love to do more. But if it's just a one and done, it's been a hell of a ride.
Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram. It's at Collins Chad M, and then on Facebook, Chad Michael Collins.
Unbelievable. Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much, man, and I seriously wish you all the best.
Cool. Thanks, Peter. It's a pleasure, man.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Chad Michael Collins, aka Alex from Call of Duty, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.